Since we're gonna be in the post game, I might as well show this off because I have a good news, bad news situation that I like to share with you. The good news is I'm finally gonna show off the specials options. I could save this for the bonus videos, but I feel like I'm gonna forget. So here we can see some movies that we've unlocked throughout the game. We call it cinematic stuff. Well, you can see more, but I think we'll have to go above and beyond in order to get the rest of that stuff. There's cheats. If you successfully obtain a cheat, you can toggle it on and off here. So this is where our skill points would be utilized to mess with Ratchet and Clank and make them appear in like certain ways or have the levels mirrored. It can be pretty funny and pretty cool to use in repeat playthroughs. But what I really want to show off is this, the skill points option, special tasks that we can complete to unlock features. But unfortunately, that's where the bad news comes in. There are exactly 3 skill points that we cannot do right now, most because they'll take a lot of time. So that's impossible. That refers to a specific challenge that we can do at the Megacorp Games Arena. But we can see there's all this other stuff that we've already done before. But eventually we'll bump into our second skill point that we cannot get. Nano to the max. This should go without saying. This one, you can get all... You have to max out your nanotech to its full health. And not much farther than that is weapon envy. I believe this one you have to upgrade all of the weapons you have in the game. There are a few, unfortunately, that we cannot get until we enter New Game Plus. Besides that, we pretty much got everything else that we can get. And that's pretty much the gist of it when it comes to the specials options. You're not supposed to see that until you beat the game at least once, but I've already beat this game a lot of times, and I didn't want to erase all that data, even if it was meant for like lagging cutscenes. But maybe I should do that if I ever get to the third game. I did it for Slide 3 after all, so might as well do it with this. And before we head to Yeedil, I want to head to Tabor first because I'm going to do something else as well, something that I usually don't do. Heading to Tabora was the quickest planet I could think of to access Slim's weapons vendor. And we got a bunch of platinum bolts on hand right now, so might as well use them. So we can get the little acid bots and like that for the hover bomb gun. Everything else is just for upgraded weapons. And I think I'm just gonna spend them all just for the heck of it. We'll use some of the vaporizer. And everything else is pretty much up for grabs. So I'll just spend them the way I see fit. I might have enough to get all of them. Yeah, I do. Yeah, I will. Well, almost all of them. Now let's get that. Leave that lone lock-on mod for my heavy lancer. But it's not like I've used that like for freaking ever, so it doesn't really matter. Also, still hate you. I'm never gonna like you, Mr. Guru. I'm never gonna like you. You are just a blight on the entirety of Bogod and the universe in general. You could go eat sand for the rest of time. So we're gonna leave all that behind now and finally head to planet Yeedil, where the Megacorp HQ resides, as well as where the original Protopet is. So we deal with that, we can finally end this Protopet epidemic. And that's what it looks like, the big factory of the big bad corporation that's pretty much been the entire theme of this entire adventure. The good news about this planet is one of the few locations in the entire game where there are no skill points we need to achieve. Besides, I already listed just how much we have to do, in order to get the last few skill points. All that is going to take too much time, admittedly, so I'd rather not do that. Besides, I can just use that completed file I have in reserve anyways to show you what you can get on a second run in this game. And let me tell you, it's a lot. It's quite substantial for a sequel of a New Game Plus. But first, if you look up here, this is one platinum bolt that I did not know about for literal years. And I was hanging on top of my head the whole time too. To get to that particular bolt, we need to head to the other side of the bridge. You can get the bolts if you want to by smashing those lamps. I like to do that because it's fun. And then grind up like that. And that's to get the platinum bolt. It's way more simpler than you think. But it's what I just didn't know about simply because I didn't look up. Where have you heard that before? It's like I'm referring to a specific figure that I didn't know about for a long time either. That caused me a lot of grief. Also, in between recordings, I decided to smarten up and update my weapon wheel to save ahead of time. I'll save myself some time too. So this is what the Hypnomatic looks like. You'll find this in the gadgets option on your pause screen. And with the receiver bot, we can hypnotize other robots like we've done before. But the game thinks we're doing this for the first time, since I'm pretty sure you're supposed to experience using the Hypnomatic for the first time here if you didn't go backtracking like I did. But then again, the game does show you how you can attack with the receiver bot. Back, I think it was on Grelbin. So you're gonna get tutorialized either way. It's not that big a deal though. It's pretty simple to take out these other receiver bots. Funny enough, the receiver bot version 1 does not get added to your Monsterpedia until you land on Yeedil, which is pretty weird because we already encountered these things before on Damosel and Grelbin, but for some reason the game decides to make you wait until it's at the Megacorp headquarters where it will finally be added to your Monsterpedia. It's kind of weird like that. But after doing some of that with the the receiver bots, we can now gain access to the HQ ourselves. So there's a cut mission that was foreshadowed back in the last episode. It's when we were meeting with Angela to get her access card. The cut mission involved Ratchet had to take down some Megacorp defenses before breaking into the HQ. There is some cut dialogue and Angela mentioning some nasty orbital defenses. It was back in that last cutscene we saw in Grelbin, but there was more dialogue that was hinting towards that mission that we were supposed to go through at first. Unrelated, there's some dev text that I found was pretty funny, such as a failed executable file that would read WTF monster handle music handle got lost. Can't believe I butchered that. But that's what it's supposed to read. It just shows that even when working on a game, Insomniac just knows how to have a good time, or at least some of the people do. I'm pretty sure not everyone there is as humorous and, from the sounds of things, pretty chill with how things go for their jobs. But there's obviously enough people they have on staff that they would sneak stuff like that in, even when making a game. There was another unused text piece that I found was pretty funny too. It's just called Elite Ninja. Nothing more special than that, but I still think it's pretty funny. Actually, I used the hover bomb gun to deal with this thing. How almost to get to you. Maybe I'll wait for you to stop shooting first. There we go. And then... yeah! took some damage. You can see why the hover bomb gun isn't that viable. You have to be like a really strategic location if you want a chance to use that thing without getting hurt. But now we gotta deal with the Megacorp troopers again. These are the strongest ones that we have to worry about now on Yeedil. After all, this is Megacorp's HQ, so it makes sense that they would save their strongest security force for their home turf. However, this planet giving me a lot of trouble in my early runs, but it makes sense. It is the final level of the game, essentially, so it makes sense how they be throwing their biggest baddies at you. Strongest ones, too. There's a bunch of receiver bots here that are lined up. You'll have to deal with some of these troopers, but as a receiver bot this time. The good news is you can have some pretty good firing for firing speed with your receiver bot. The bad news is that when you get damage, it does take over your time, like I mentioned fairly recently. I think it was in the last episode, couldn't think of it. Was that it? Oh, there's more. I had a feeling there'd be more. Running out of time though, so I just switch off to another receiver bot. They knew that this wouldn't last long enough, at least your receiver bot wouldn't. Oh, you can jump, I forgot you could do that too. That guy's also having some trouble moonwalking in place. Clearly that guy was defective. Don't know why he was on the security force. And hey, those little bots helped us out to get another upgrade to our nanotech. We're getting pretty far that too. About fairly halfway there to maxing out our health. Like I said though, that's not gonna happen. There's no way that's happening here. I have to play it for a lot longer than I need to in order to make that happen. And I didn't want to miss out on any upgrades for our health, so that's why I'm not doing that. Again, that's what the reserve complete file is for. Don't worry about it, you'll see what it looks like when we get to the bonus videos. And it feels so weird that we're already at Yeedil. I remember when I was a kid that it felt like it took forever to get to this level, and even then, like I said before, I got my butt kicked here in earlier runs of my time as a fan of this game, but I've already stated why I wasn't that good, at least not good enough why I wouldn't have little trouble with this game, is that I wouldn't know how to utilize my weapons correctly, and just bothering to experiment enough so I could upgrade as many as I could that I'm supposed to in order to ensure that I wouldn't have difficulty later on, because I'll only rely on a handful of weapons to really utilize because I just flat like them. There was no other reason why that I decided like favor some weapons over others. It's just flat because I like them. I wonder if... Nah, I don't think if I use the spider bot there, it's not gonna work as much as I want to. That's why I'm using my, or some of my, upgraded weapons for this final level, because this place can be tough. So I wouldn't blame you if you decide to just use some of your upgraded weapons to get through the enemies in this place. These troopers alone are pretty tough. The tanks, surprisingly not so much. It's the troopers you gotta worry about, because these guys, I stated before, they can operate pretty well as a team, but here on Yeedil, it is way more apparent than ever before. Wonder if, come on, there we go. I'll blow you up really quickly. If I can keep doing that, I could probably damage these guys before they have a chance to attack me. And with the acid bot, it could do damage over time too. I'll find it pretty funny if I can somehow level up the spider bot before. There it is! Well, what did I say? What did I say? I said it was a possibility that I was gonna upgrade the spider bot glove before we were done. And of course the game's like, ah, I hear what you're saying. You want this to be upgraded? Okay, here you go. You can have it. It's the last level. I'm feeling generous. Yeah, my timing sometimes, man. My timing can be pretty pertinent. Can be pretty on point when it can be, when I need it the most. Oh, brother, that's just how life goes sometimes. Sometimes things work out your favor when you least expect it, and sometimes it doesn't when you really need it. Just how it goes. Ah, crap. Ah, of course I need the dynamo here. It wouldn't be a last playthrough or a last level playthrough unless I found something up somewhere. Okay, what can I replace? Ah, as much as I want to use this thing any further, actually, I'll think I'll save it for one more time. I only wanted to use the vaporizer for that one moment, so that's what place the dynamo. Granted, it's gonna mess up this neat little weapon wheel set that I had laid out, but whatever. I don't want to change it now. That'd just be too petty. There's more of those troopers back there. Uh, what weapon to use? Which one to use? Actually, speaking of these troopers, they were difficult to program since they could, how is this? Since they could strafe, but only Ratchet's model had an animation bundling system is what it's referred to. The bundling system pretty much makes Ratchet his whole model strafe whatever you want him to do so. And these guys, they were supposed to do that at first, but it turns out that implementing that was a lot tougher for Insomniac than you think. Get out of here, stupid trooper. That's because for the troopers, they have two moving parts. You're still there? Really? When I said to go away, I meant where'd you go? Hello? He's right on top of me, isn't he? This guy is straight up on top of me. Uh, he is, isn't he? Yeah, there you are. Oh, he's stuck up there, that's why. I've never seen a trooper go that high before. What gives? What was that guy trying to do? Who's he think he is? Spider-Man? That was so weird. I've never seen a trooper go that high before. I knew they could fly, but wow, that guy took it to a whole other level. Ah, that was weird. Anyway, as I was saying, for the troopers, when it came to strafing, they have two moving parts that would move independently of each other, the upper torso and the legs. Hence why it was so difficult for Insomniac to get these guys to strafe during development. But they somehow made it work in the end. But that also means it'll be more of a pain in the neck for you how to deal with them as enemies. I'm starting to think if these guys are like the V2 troopers or the V3 kind. I'm not too sure on that, but I'm pretty sure they're like the V3 kind. Regardless, these guys are pretty dangerous, no matter how you slice it. Alright, now I gotta deal with those guys up there. It's a shame that I replaced my vaporizer. But I can't show this off. This is now the Tank Bot Glove, no longer the Spider Bot. It now has a cute little pistol on it, or some sort of blaster that can now fire away at enemies. It still retains the same amount of time it needs to operate, but at least you can now like control where you output your firing power against foes when you're trying to attack them in a more tactical sense. You take this. I don't really care. That's pretty much all the weapons I wanted to upgrade in this game. At least all the ones that will not spend hours upon hours when it feels like on end just to get them upgraded. Like this thing would. The hover bomb gun, that would be fairly easy to upgrade. It acts like most other weapons, but the shield charger, man, the shield charger, I remember that taking a long time to upgrade. It's kind of worth it in the end, but it takes a lot of patience for you to get that thing upgraded. Alright, got it. Ooh, those recent infiltrator spots are being more forgiving than I thought they would be. Basically because I'm just shutting up and actually focusing whenever I come across one of those things because I don't want to spend like 10 minutes trying to solve one of those puzzles. That would just be terrible on my end. And I don't want to do that. Hello? You're supposed to... I was not paying attention. I thought it did move up already. Now, these things are out of sync. I gotta wait for these to move up. Nope, didn't make it. Now I wonder. Okay, I rarely try this. I think I've done this one other occasion. But I want to see what happens when I do this. You're not supposed to do this. You're supposed to leave this alone. I guess those bolts were from when I smashed this apart. Yeah, doing that, melting the ice on that doesn't really matter much. I guess aside from getting those bolts, I guess got submerged or melted in somehow into the ice that it was supposed to land on. Can I get this time? Yeah, got it. Good. Managed to get that. Do that. And there we go. Already 20 minutes in, we're this far in. We might be getting close to the end of this main route. Well, it's the only route, but it's pretty impressive that we have come this far already. Ooh, this is the hard part now. Oh, I can use a hover bomb gun. What am I thinking? Let's do that. And then control where I want to go. Yeah, that's how you do it. Wait for these things to stop. Oh, that was my bad. Alright, the blast radius is large enough that I can utilize the hover bomb gun to sneak it in between them. Just gotta make sure I don't get shot at because I don't have much health left. Alright, and I got myself another nanotech upgrade too. Those are coming in handy. Those are being timed so well when I need them the most. I was about to die here. It's 2 in 1 episode as well. That doesn't happen that often, I'd say. And yeah, we are at the end of this route. Man, I didn't think we'd reach it this fast. This goes to show up how good I really have gotten this game over the years. Now that I know how to manage my weapons, and know that I have to upgrade as many of them as possible. Yeah, I think we can get the rest of this route taken care of for today, which means that the next episode is likely gonna be the finale. And I thought this would take a little longer for me to get through this recording session, but now we're already here. Just gotta take care of one last electrolyzer. Thank God they would put one last of these segments in. I'd rather take this. I'd rather take this over the infiltrator. I've already seen that time and again, but it bears repeating. Electrolyzer is way easier to play with than the infiltrator. There's only just one last segment of these Protopets and these troopers we gotta tackle. After that, we should be home free. But it's a pretty big force with a tank, with a Megacorp tank on top of that too. I think that might be a V2 tank because I saw some of the outlinings were colored in blue. So I'm pretty sure that was a stronger tank than what we were used to dealing with back on a stage like Dabo, for instance. Now this next part may be pretty tricky, but you can see There's a tractor beam segment here. So shame I gotta do this again. But it's gonna be the last time we'll use this tractor beam. I've already stated most of its use was already presented back on the Mactar Resort. Oh, don't die, don't die. Oh, thank God. There's that platform there. Whoop. Whew, that was close. I almost screwed that up too. Now for a moment you saw how Ratchet's fist would likely disappear. Oh no, it's still there. That's not applied to the tractor beam. Never mind. But still, it almost looked like that for a moment. What you have to do here is go all over the place, just dodge these rings. I got hit there, but that doesn't matter. Because at the end of this path, it's our final platinum bolt of the game. Now I should have enough to get that lock-on mod for the Heavy Lancer. Like that's gonna be useful to us at this point. It can be, we're running out of options, but still. We got way better weapons to use than just that now. Oh, great. There's more of you guys? You don't know when to give up, do ya? You're pretty strong compared to my hover bomb gun. I don't care. I'm gonna use this thing. I'm gonna milk this thing with all it's worth. It won't get upgraded here, but I'll get a lot of nanomites out of it. On a limited ammo capacity, they're really trying to mob me here. But they gotta take it out pretty quickly too. This thing is pretty strong as it is right now. Just imagine what it'll be like when we upgrade it. But at last, here we are.
This is it, the Protopet duplication room.
I'm sorry I'm late. I had some trouble with the guards.
No problem. You're just in time. Okay, let's see if this thing works.
She is trying to tell us something.
Bye now. Enjoy the hygienator. Remember, you bought it from Steve. Steve McQuark. Indeed. Now that I've sold my 1 millionth hygienator, I can finance the comeback of the greatest superhero who ever lived, Captain Quark! All I need now is a new galaxy with a new fan base so I can rescue them from a new disaster!
But
Sir, I do not understand.
Mr. Fizzwidget?
This is bad.
All right, just what the is going on?
Allow me to explain. I'm about to save the galaxy from the Protopets, and you are about to become public enemy #1! Oh, and 2 and 3. Guards, seize them! Smile, it's showtime! Citizens of Bogon, I am Captain Quark. I come to you in this, your darkest of hours, to shine the flashlight of justice on your galaxy.
flashlight of justice?
As you know, a living menace called the Protopet has been set loose in your galaxy. But fear not, Bogonites. I, Captain Quark, have caught the perpetrators. Yes, good citizens, these are the masterminds behind Megacorp's experiment with death. And now, with this, super electro gadget I invented, I will end the Protopet threat once and for all.
That's my Helixamorph. I invented.
Ahem. Stay tuned, dear viewers, as I amplify the signal from this helixo thingy and render every Protopet in the galaxy completely harmless. Allow me to demonstrate. Mommy!
Is that Helixomorph actually work?
It used to. I could probably fix it.
Come on, Clank. Let's get it back.
Protopets were inspired by 80s creature movies. Probably goes without saying since you can see the resemblance, but it is apparent that they were inspired by such a source. For instance, to make Demoiselle feel overrun, they made the skeleton simple and designed it with only 2 feet, like we can see in its full model. Also, this story wasn't meant to have Captain Quark in it at first, but apparently the devs missed working with Quark, so he got written in by way of those behind the hero clips, which were created for the player to remember him. It's a pretty clever way to include something like that came off pretty randomly after, like, I guess, world building after what happened with the first game with Quark, but as a way to keep Captain Quark in mind for the player to remind him that he exists, that he's got his own adventures going on. But it turns out that he was the culprit the whole time behind the entire Protopet menace. Also, Fizzwidget was voiced by Quark's VA, Jim Ward. So I guess that's another clue as to what's really going on with Fizzwidget the whole time. It was also a clever way that they include something like that will come up as pretty random for what the final boss turns out to be. I mean, it's not Quark himself, but he made this thing what it is, so he's still at fault. And that means that we are gonna stop for today because we are now at the doorstep to our final boss. So next time, we're gonna go engage our last battle in Bogon and finally subdue the Protopet. Until we meet again, farewell for now.